He looked good today, and so he's ready to go. We were planning on giving him a break on the first day anyway. We gave him one more just to bounce back, and he looked fine, so he'll be part of the rotation.
How's Carroll doing?
He practiced today too. Let's just wait until we get all the way to game time and see if everything works out okay. I think he's doing really well. He's really anxious to play and excited about that. And I'll be surprised if he doesn't. But just make sure, the work that he did today was the most work he did this week, and let's just see how he comes back tomorrow.
As far as you know, is it still nothing more than just a stiff neck?
Yeah. I think I answered that right. Yes. The answer is yes. Yeah.
He did go to the hospital.
I think, yeah, they took him to the hospital for his CAT scans, that night, and then he made it back and flew back with us, that's a really good sign, and so we were all happy about that.
How scared you must have been, all the teams. How crazy is it that you're talking about it?
Yeah, I think we got a mechanism, that we're gonna wait and not call it and go to the dire end of what could have been. Our guys were there was a lot of praying. There was a lot of just sending him love and support and all that, with the thought that he's going to be okay. We're all thinking that, and he had a lot of movement and all that, so we were encouraged. And so now we just got to, they got to prove it, which they did through the testing and all of that. So I don't think anybody went that far. It's not the way it guys respond in the moment.
I guess it looked for those.
Well, yeah, they put him on the they put him on the cart, and whenever they were doing that, and he didn't want to do that. He was fighting, and he would have done anything to let they just couldn't let him up. So he felt good enough to be arguing and griping about it and complaining that get me up, that kind of thing. So anyway, we were very fortunate.
What have you seen with the focus level from your team this week?
We had an excellent week. We really did. Our guys jumped right back at it. There's a sense of urgency that what it feels like when you're playing in huge games. That's what this felt like this week. And so I got no complaints about the way we poured ourselves into it.
Bobby talked about this a little bit earlier in the week. He has been in a situation like this before. I think it was 2015. Not many of the guys have. But what did you tell them about kind of where the season can go from here?
Yeah, well, I did address that to some extent, not any more than is necessary, I don't think. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. There's over 2 months left in this football season, and so we got to go play the games, and everybody else got to go play the games too. And nobody knows what the story is. I mean, look what happened to Cleveland. Cleveland was rolling along, and then there goes their guy. And you never know. So. With that thought, what we have to do is we have to make sure that we can get our focus right back to what's at hand and not let concerns of other things that we can't control affect us. And so that's we're trying to master that. I've talked to you about that all the time. We're always trying to learn how to focus on what is within our control, what's in front of us right now. And that's a great challenge. And most teams can't do it. It's hard to do it, and play consistently week after week after week. We're still trying to get that to that spot, and this is a great challenge for us. It's a great team coming in, and it happens to be a Monday nighter as well. All the rest of it goes on it. So this will be an important weekend for us.
Damian Lewis, where's he?
He went through walkthrough today, and we got to wait and see. Again, he'll go to game time.
And
I can't call it yet.
And Sidney Jones isn't even on the report, so he made it through all week?
He made it back. He was fine.
Will he start there?
We'll see.
How's the doing? Does he have a chance to get off injured reserve early as possible, I believe, next week?
I don't have. He traveled this week. He was doing some special work outside of here, and I haven't seen him, and I haven't heard any report of what happened with his the work that they did. So I can't help you, but we'll revisit all of that for next week and see where he is.
Well, Rashad yesterday, obviously that guy is so talented, but so much he's been through over these last years with the injuries. How tough has that process been, and how excited are you that he is revved up, ready to go?
It's been really hard. It's because it's so long, and so we're just rigorous return, and it takes so much, mind time and heartfelt, battling and fighting through it, and it was a real serious knee injury, and so it took him all of this time, and it affected other parts and other aspects. He was a lot out of balance on his return, and it just took him time to get everything lined up, and it was calf or whether it was a groin or whatever it was, so he's ready to go now, and he's worked really hard in the last couple of weeks. He actually was ready a couple of weeks ago, and the idea was that's not enough. Let's bust it and make sure that he's working at a level like we were practicing and we would be playing, so that when he comes back, he won't have to there won't be a transition any more than need be. So he's ready to go. He's really mentally right and really excited about it. He's like a little kid wanting to play football, but most of all, he wants to help his team. He really does. He feels that sense of responsibility. He wants to help us, so he'll get his chance. We're excited about him playing.
But Gino, it's one of those things. The first arc's done, and now it's how much is he getting into that rhythm of routine?
I think it's only natural that he feels a little bit better this week. He went through it, and he saw he could do it, and we could lean on him, and he could come through and make plays and all of that, and all of that helps. After 4 years of sitting out, or 3.5 years of sitting out, you need to get your confidence back aligned and all of that, and get your feel aligned, and so. It couldn't have been any closer. We go to OT against Big Ben in Pittsburgh, and took us all the way to that. So we're expecting that he's going to play well, and he's going to feel more comfortable and all of that, and he'll just run the club a little bit cleaner, a little bit better, and that'll help us all. We need to help him. Well, that's what we need to do. We need to help Gino and make sure that we do everybody else, defense, special teams, the running game, the guys up front, everybody, and play a really good team game.
There's a report that the pin in Russ's finger is coming out within the next week. Is that accurate?
I'll wait and see when they pull the pin. I don't know. I know it's coming. Well, I don't know. It depends on the docs. I don't know where that report would have come from. I think it's a good guess is what it is right now. But there's a chance.
Jacob Eason, what do you see for him this week?
That he's a talented athlete. You can see why he was the top high school kid in the country. And just natural motion, the size and power in his arm and all that, foot movement, natural athlete, all that. You could see all of that. We actually gave him a lot of work against the defense this week, just to see him, just to see what what he brings. And so we'll see what happens. It's just we'll take it 1 week at a time right now.
Do you know enough of the game plan to be another tool for that?
Not this week.
Does that mean you're going to
gave you something right there.
promote Jake Luton to the roster?
You never know.
I talked to Matt Hasselbeck the other day. He mentioned that one of your first meetings, 2010, you showed all the highlights, Seahawks history, like 20, 30 minutes, and said, forget about all that now. Let's move forward. Where'd you get that idea from to do that?
Well, it was just there's a past that you can't do anything about other than look at the highlights of it, and so I wanted to make that point really clear. That's then and this is now, and it's fun to have had that and all that, and you put it in your back pocket and pull it out when you want to, and when you used to have CDs, you could just throw it in the machine and away you go, and that's about how valuable it was to us starting all over. So I wanted to make the a little dramatic point about that, and on we go. And it always, that kind of thought usually pisses the guys off a little bit, because they don't give us any respect from the past. But I proved to them how much I respected to him. I wasn't worried about that. But I wanted to make a point and start new and get going. And Matt was, as I remember, Matt was a great note taker, and he didn't get it all right, but because I've heard a couple things that he said about what we did and all that. He's a little bit off on a couple of them, but he was great at understanding the approach and the mentality of it, and he was promoted for it. He was a great messenger and disciple in a sense, and when you have your quarterback on board in that manner, it's really important, and it really makes a lot of things. It facilitates a lot of the transition, aspects of what's bringing in a new culture to a program, and he was good. He was good at it, and he was a blast. I love coaching Matt. He was so much fun and such a great competitor, and he tried so hard and cared so much, and had a great sense of awareness and also a sense of humor and all that stuff. He was a blast. So I'm so excited that he's going in. I just think it's great.
He told us that he said he loved your year, but he didn't think he would, or didn't know if he wanted to. Did you have to convert him, or do you think he was all stuck in?
There's honestly, and I've learned this over the years, that whenever you come into a new program, there's always resistors. There's a resistance, and because of the change, people want more comfortable with how things were, and so it's really important to identify the resistors, and figure that out, and if they're the Hussars, then you better connect with them and make some sense with them. So he was really important to me, and so I was talking to him a lot, through the meetings and stuff, because I needed him to come along with us, and so there was a time when I went to San Francisco, and Kenny was like one of kind of the captains and Gary Plummer and Tim McDonald and all those great players, and Merton Hanks, all those guys, you had to win them over, and they had just won the world championship, so that's a great challenge in those meeting rooms and in the work. And so I take a lot of pride in going after it and competing to get that done, because the sooner you get it done, the better, so Kenny was a real pain in the butt, to tell you the truth, but yeah, he was definitely one. And so anyway, so it was again, I go back, we owe so much to that first team, because we did in kind of remarkable fashion. We won a division and all of that, and then got rolling in the playoffs, and so it was pretty exciting time.
Back to the Saints this week. Can you see Chris Richard's imprint on how the secondary is playing?
They're really good technicians. Chris was always really good at coaching the DBs and all the stuff that they do. They have a real good style about them, and one that of course we recognize, and he's really good at it.
Is that just something you gotta monitor all year?
Yeah, we're anxious to get to the break and see what happens. He worked beautifully today, and he's ready to go again. We just got to make sure we don't overdo it, and where he's going to have to miss some time. He hasn't had to yet, but this is just the rhythms of the weeks to kind of learn what it takes to keep him at his best, and so we're working right directly with him and listening to him, and he's working really well with our trainers now to make sure that we communicate all that stuff really well.
What is going on with those
John cramped up yesterday. He cramped up in practice. A little bit of a sore knee. It was there, but it was really, he cramped up right in the middle of a route, and we had to pull him out.
Do you have any more of an update on Chris Carson and what his situation is?
No, but other than that, he's working really hard. He's conditioning hard, and which is really important right now, so that when it's time, he'll be ready to come back. He's not sitting around. He's really working hard at it, lifting and strength work and explosion work. He was on the hill yesterday, really busting tail. So he's doing good. But I don't have any, any thought about when the time is. I don't have any update on that.
Anything else? Thank you.
Got it. Gotcha.